The proverb says, don't just stay away from the adulteress. Stay far away from her door. Don't just stay away from it. Stay away from even the slightest thing. Any situation. You got to cut off Agag completely. The smallest. It says in Philippians, whatever is good and lovely and wonderful, put your mind on these things. But that means whatever is not, have nothing to do with it. No, not even the smallest. There are the other kind of Agags. There's the kind of the reverse, not the negative ones. For instance, skipping your time with God, Agag. A little thing. Well, I didn't really need it today. What happens? The next time, it becomes easier to skip it again. And then again, skipping the Bible. You do it once, and then it's easier to do it again. When the first time it skipped, okay, things happen in life, get back to it. Even if you do it a little bit, get back to it. So you break off the Agag of not being with the Lord. Same thing with fellowship. Sometimes people fall out of it. They're going through something and they miss fellowship and they're out of it and then they just fall into it and then they feel condemned for not doing it and then they feel worried. They fall into this trap. Forget it. Cut Agag. As soon as something starts slipping, as soon as it's a little thing, go back. Cut Agag out when he appears before it becomes a bondage. You lost your temper with a loved one, with your loved one, with a loved one? Cut it off the first time before it becomes a habit. Before it becomes a habit and robs the love that they have for you and you have for them. Cut it off. Ask forgiveness. Takes the minute you messed up, ask forgiveness. Cut it off. You hurt somebody, ask forgiveness. So you can cut it off. It doesn't become Agag. It doesn't become more. Make no deals with sin before it comes. You said something, you were like in an argument, you said something you shouldn't have. Cut off the argument before it gets there. As soon as you see it heating up, as soon as you see it going in a direction that's not going to do, say, let's just stop. Listen, let's stop now. I love you, and we'll deal with it another time. It's very easy to inflict hurt. It's very hard to repair. Any compromise in your life is an Agag. Any inconsistency, anything that doesn't line up, you cannot afford to give it any room. Anything. So the Jews of Persia are on the verge of extermination through the rebellion of Saul hundreds of years ago. One little sin, and now extermination is over their heads. King Agag was of the Amalekites. King Saul was called to slay Agag. King Saul was of the tribe of Benjamin. Now it's hundreds of years later, but the act of one little rebellion leads to the threat of mass extermination. So let's bring it home now. Look at the book. Esther chapter 2. Actually, Esther 2, verse 5. There was a Jew in Susa, the capital, whose name was Mordecai, the son of Jair, watch it there, the son of Shimei, the son of Kish, a Benjaminite. A Benjaminite. Haman was a descendant of Agag. Mordecai was of the same tribe as Saul. Saul was a Benjaminite called to slay Agag. Now you have another Benjaminite, Mordecai, and probably Esther, now called to rise against the Agagite, the Amalekites. The same tribe, round 2. And all the battle that goes back to the wilderness with Moses and Amalek and Joshua. But now the odds are overwhelmingly against God's people. Yet, God will use one man to influence one woman to defeat Agag at the height of his power.